Good morning. I come to you today with the task of John the Baptist. And his job was to warn as many as possible. And that is what I come to you this day to warn those who are walking in him. Now, I'm not talking to those who are just going through the motions. I'm talking about those who are really born again. And he knows who's born again. And when you're born again, you don't want anything but him. So to those who have not truly been born again, I'm not speaking to you. But those who are truly have been born again, I come this day to warn those who are still not keeping the commandments and the laws and the statutes. I come to warn those who are still not keeping the dietary laws. I come to warn those who are still not observing the Sabbath, the true Sabbath, not the Sunday Sabbath, but the seventh day that was set apart. Those who still go out on the seventh day and treat it as any other day. My message today is to warn all of you. There will be swift and unavoidable judgment to those who do not keep the laws and the statutes and the commandments. Many of you have been duped into thinking through a religion called Christianity that not keeping those things that I just mentioned is okay. And they are not. Christianity teaches you to disobey this. I know you don't believe that, but it does. If you truly read and you truly study, you will see that Paul, Jude, they warn us about those that will come and try to change what the word says. They told us in his word that there were going to be those who were going to twist and change the meaning and try to water down what his word says. I'm coming to warn you today. I was where you once were. I was duped. I was fooled. I was led astray. But now I have turned back to keeping the true commandments in the word and the law. Now, most of you, when I say that, your mind begins to think and comprehend that what I mean by that is that I must keep the law in order to make myself acceptable, and I'm trying to earn and work my way to something, but that's not the case at all. No, I already have him. He's in my heart. He's not going anywhere. He never has. He never will. that will never change. He is who he was then, now, and forever. And that is who he is to me. But to those who have followed men's teachings, who are not in correct standing with him, you need to come out before it's too late. And he sent me today to warn you. You know, most of you, a lot of you are in the position that the disciple Peter was in. Peter stood in the boat as the Messiah was teaching, and he was a fisherman. So he knew everything there was to know about fishing. And the Messiah had told him to do something. Now, mind you, they had been out all the night fishing and didn't catch anything. Messiah knew this because he knows everything. He told Peter a simple instruction to drop the nets. And he told him precisely how to do it, as he does everything. Peter stood there and said, "We've done this all night and we haven't caught anything." So in essence, what he was saying is, I know what I'm doing. You know, I pretty much know what to do. I don't need you telling me something. Messiah simply, in his patience, looked at him and said, "Drop the nets." Most of you are standing in the position of Peter today. You're still thinking that you know things that you really don't know. And like I said, I was there. I thought I knew the way. I thought I knew a lot, and there was anything anybody could tell me. I'm going to tell you, as the Messiah said, to drop the nets. Peter eventually, after dropping the nets, after he obeyed, they caught an amount of fish that they could not even contain in the boat. And after he realized that he didn't know anything. He realized that he didn't know what he thought he knew. And he told the Messiah, "I'm not even worthy to be in your presence." We are still to keep the laws and the commandments. If we weren't, why would the Messiah say for us to pray that our flight not be in the winter or on Sabbath? Now that, if you read that in the scriptures in context, you would understand that that's a future command that he was giving to those who were his followers. He speaks of a flight. And he says, pray that it not be in the winter or on the Sabbath. So he taught to keep the law. He didn't teach that we don't follow it. If you think this, you're sorely mistaken. And I just humbly petition to you today that you stop taking the position of Peter. Now, we all know that Peter went on to become one of the Messiah's greatest followers. So, like I said, you don't have to stay at that point that he was. Many of the disciples were still learning, as we all are. Myself, I'm still learning. But my message is to warn all of those this day that judgment will be coming to those. I don't try to keep the law in order to gain something. If I break the law, I still have him. He died. He shed his perfect blood for me. So if I don't keep one of the laws and the commandments and the statutes, and I do all the time, I mess up. I'm a sinner. I'm dirt. I'm nothing. I don't know anything. So that's why I must bring myself under his law. I just come to warn you today that if you're not in his law, if you're not under his statutes and commandments, if you're not following this, not Christianity, Christianity is going to teach you to disobey this because it was created by men. Men who were used by the enemy to deceive many people into thinking that they can follow some different way and still be a follower. I urge you to find someone who will teach you the truth. Come out of these churches, come out of these religions. There are people that he has called out who can guide you, who can teach you. But if you continue to sit on your high pedestal, your prideful way, your prideful mindset, there's nothing anyone can do for you. Because I look to the one who I know, the author and the finisher of my faith. Now unto him who is able to keep you from falling and to present you faultless before the presence of his esteem with exceeding joy, to the only wise Yahuwah, our deliverer, be esteem and majesty and dominion and power both now and ever. Amen. Come out of her, my people, lest you be partakers of her sin and you receive of her plagues. Shalom.